So the receivers are interesting because there is somebody that I've loved for a few years now. But I also said that I don't see Washington selecting this player because I think that he at times may take plays off. And there's too much of perhaps some Jahan Dotson in Luther Burden III. But Luther Burden III is probably the guy in the draft that I like the most at wide receiver because I'm not a big Tet McMillan fan. I don't get why he's going to go top 10, top 15. The size, he's 6'4", he's got big radius, all of that. But, when I asked Stanford Steve in the last segment, do you see him the way some people see him as like Mike Evans? He's not that. Matt Golden, I love the speed. I love the route running ability. I do like him. I like Burden in terms of the talent more than anybody in the draft at wide receiver. I just don't see Washington taking him at 29 again because they like gym rats. They like hustlers. They like guys who are going to block. And he is a dynamic receiver. There's been a lot of criticism about his 2024 season versus 2023 season. He had 61 catches for 676 yards in 2024, whereas in 2023, 86 for 1,212 yards, 9 touchdowns. Look, you could look at the schedule that they played in 2023, and you see a lot of bad defensive teams, by the way, including Jaden Daniels' LSU team in that game, which was an incredible football game and one of my favorite Jaden Daniels games of 2023 because he got hurt in the game and yet led a comeback 49-39 win. But Burden in that game had 11 catches for 149 yards. LSU's defense stunk. He had over 150 yards catching against Florida's defense that year. They played some bad defensive teams in 2023, and they played better defensive teams in 2024. Not to mention Missouri's team offensively in 2024 wasn't as good as it was in 2023. So there's a lot that is explainable about the differences between Luther Burden's 2023 season and 2024 season. I think he is, way up there on the list of players with the ball in his hands in space. He is electric, and I think he's going to be a great player. I just canceled him off Washington's list because there's discussion about whether or not, if the play's coming in his direction, if he plays it out the way he should. And that's why they traded Jahan Dotson, the number one reason they traded Jahan Dotson. There are similarities. I think he's better, a much better prospect than Dotson. I like Matt Golden. I don't see 4.29 as a player. And I asked Logan Paulson that earlier, and he said the same thing. He's like, yeah, he does not run sub 4.3. He's fast. And by the way, he's a good kickoff returner too. But he's going to be gone, I think, by the time 29 comes around. If he actually fell to 29, that would be interesting. Egbuka, for me, is a strong number 2, not a number 1. The guy that I really like a lot, and if you just go watch the highlight reel of Kyle Williams at Washington State, I don't know how this guy's projected day 3 or late day 2. All right, go watch number 2 at Washington State last year and the year before when they were still in the Pac-12 and Cam Ward was his quarterback. He's 5'11", 190, ran 4.4 at the combine. Logan called him a receiver's receiver. And he meant he just does everything right. Like he understands space, he understands breaks, he understands where to plant, where to come out. This guy separates so easily. By the way, at any position on the field, X, inside, it doesn't matter. This guy looks to me like he is going to be a problem at the next level. I don't understand why he's a projected late night 2 or day 3 pick. That there are a couple of players that aren't, projected first rounders or second rounders in this draft that I like. One is a corner that I'll talk about probably tomorrow. Kyle Williams, for me, looks like a guy that if you get him, he is smart. He tracks the ball well. He's athletic. He's fast, but he's also athletic. One of the things, and I was surprised at this, his hand size was the smallest of any of the receivers at the combine, or one of the smallest, but he doesn't drop balls. He's got natural hands, and he's had some big games. You go back to 2023 when they were playing a Pac-12 schedule and Cam Ward was their quarterback against Oregon, who was ranked in the top 10, 5 catches, 102 yards. That year against Washington, that was the year Penix Jr. was the quarterback in Washington, and Washington State in the Apple Cup game almost knocked them off. They lost 24-21. Kyle Williams, 5 catches, 85 yards, a touchdown. He is, to me, a guy that looks like he's really tough to cover, and that he's going to be open, and he can take it 75 on a slant, on a wide receiver screen, and on 3rd and 7, he's going to get separation at the sticks. I don't know. I love him. I love Luther Burden, but I think Burden's more of a, will they take a guy that they don't trust to play it out on every play? Kyle Williams has great things said about him from a character standpoint. Yeah, that's the guy that I really, after spending some time, and somebody pointed me in the direction of a corner that I'll talk about tomorrow. I actually asked Steve about him as well. But Kyle Williams, to me, it makes no sense that he's like wide receiver number 15 and projected to be a 3rd or a 4th round pick. That makes no sense to me at all. The kid from Iowa State, I like Jalen Noel. Yeah, who else was on my list? Oh, I like Ty Felton from Maryland. I talked about him, I think, earlier in the week. I think Ty Felton is a day 3 pick, but it wouldn't shock me if somebody falls in love with him and he goes on night 2. Ty Felton is 6'1", and a half, and 185 pounds, and he can line up almost anywhere. And he ran sub 4.4, but you saw it on the field. I mean, and not with good quarterbacking this last season. He also, by the way, like Kyle Williams plays special teams, not as a returner, as a kick coverer, and by the way, had a couple of block kicks off the edge. And Felton plays special teams as well. So there you go, receivers. Doing some work for you. Be wrong on most of it, but it's fun to look at it and talk about it.